What's up, everyone? It's Cannan back with another Rune Factory video, and we've got a lot to talk about. In this video, we're going to be reacting to the Guardians of Azuma Story trailer, which came out 11 days ago. I'm a little late to it, but we've also got some new stuff that's come out, including some information about the kids that you have with your marriage candidates, and also an interview that was released not too long ago, I don't think. Nope. Well, long ago enough. But it's information that is new to me, so I am going to go over it in case that you've not heard of it yourself. But as always, please, if you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment, all that good stuff. So let's talk about this right now. This came out 16 hours ago on the Rune Factory Reddit page, and that is about the kids that you will have with your spouse after you are married, which is a long-term feature in not only the Rune Factory series, but also Story of Seasons and Harvest Moon, for lack of a better term. But what is interesting about the Guardians of Azuma kids is that they will inherit your partner's unique traits. This is very, very unique to this game, as we've not seen this before. In Rune Factory 5, you could have up to 3 children. The first one you have, you can choose their gender, and also they would take after the protagonist, whether it would be Alice or Ares. They would have blonde hair, and then after that, you would have twins who would inherit at least the hair color of your wife or husband. Now, this time around, they are actually going to inherit specific traits. Now, I can't tell whose child all of these characters are. I'm guessing this is Ulaka's. It just kind of reminds me of her, like the hair and all that. I can see this being Ulaka's. This is Fubuki's. I can definitely say, because the 2 ears. This is definitely Hinya's, or Hina. This is definitely her child. These 2, I'm not sure of. This might be the Goddess of Summers. I've already forgotten her name, but I think this might be her child right here because of the hairstyle and also holding the stick like a sword in a way. But yes, this is very new to the series. We have never had this before. You can also take your kids out as party members, so they're at least going to age enough to where they can fight. And by the look of these silhouettes, yeah, these look maybe late childhood, maybe. So, yeah, you can also have bonding events with your kids because they will have a bonding level just like anyone else, and that'll give you different skills and different buffs and stuff like that. So this is very, very exciting. Now, this next thing I want to go over is a interview. It's older than I thought it was, March 21st, but it goes over some stuff that I actually did not know about. So let's go over this real quick, and then we will jump over to the trailer. So development started in September 2021. This game has been in development for 5 years. Now, that tells me that since when they first announced this game, they already had like gameplay and all that for it, where Rune Factory 6, we only had the title screen. So I'm guessing Rune Factory 6 has probably entered development, like full steam ahead development, maybe last year, year before that. I'm not sure. But this game definitely went into production way before 6 did. So that's why we're getting it first. And I hope they continue this. Since Rune Factory games do seem to take a good amount of time, I'm hoping that they will continue to do a numbered title, then a spinoff, then a numbered title, then a spinoff. I think it's a way better thing to do things and a way better way to test out new gameplay features. How did the different regions and cultures in Japan help shape depictions of the regions in Guardians of Azuma. Specific examples aren't coming to mind, but there are, of course, areas in the game where were inspired by specific areas in Japan. And I'm sorry, just to help clarify, while there's undoubtedly influence from Japan, it's not intended to be Japan. It has a lot of Asian influences. It isn't meant to be one-to-one with Japan. In the case of the monsters, how did you ensure that the new ones would fit in with the new region while still blending in with the existing Rune Factory monsters from past games? Regarding the monsters that are new to the game, many of them were inspired by classic yokai from Japanese folklore, such as the Kappa and the Karasu Tengu, the Crow Tengu. And so that's kind of where the inspiration for the new monsters came from, which makes sense. Are there any regional variations of returning monsters? Like, is there a new version of the Buffamoo based on the new locations in the game and the new seasons? Or is there just one type of Buffamoo, one type of Woolly, and that kind of thing? Of course, Buffamoo is Rune Factory's version of cows, Woolly, of course, being the Rune Factory version of sheep. It's a mixture of both. There are monsters in the game, such as the Woolies, that are essentially globally the same between Azuma and the world of the previous Rune Factory games, and then there are some monsters that have slight variations based on being in Azuma, such as color variations or slight appearance variations. In Guardians of Azuma, there's a really big city management and building element. How did you come up with that idea? What kinds of challenges did you face when implementing that and keeping it balanced with all the other farming and fighting elements? Regarding the village building elements in the game, a core theme in the Rune Factory series is the idea of the Earthmate using their power to restore the Earth. And a big part of that, and a part of the reason why we created this feature, is because we wanted a part of that to not just be restoring the Earth, but restoring the villages that the characters live in. Also to give players the ability to restore them as they see fit or to customize them to their liking. So that was the impetus for creating the feature. Pretty much they wanted to do something new. A number of the bachelors and bachelorettes of Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma are gods and goddesses. How did mythology shape their specific designs, abilities, and personalities? There are marriage candidates who are inspired by existing Japanese myth and gods, and that's really not all there is to it. There's really a lot of influence in various elements of their design. To give one specific example, the god of summer, Matsuri, that's her name, Matsuri, her outfits are inspired by traditional Okinawa outfits, and her motif is the Okinawan hibiscus flower. In Rune Factory, there are always a lot of romance options and opportunities to have relationship events when you're starting to get together, when you're dating, and when you're married. Is that going to happen in Guardians of Azuma, where there will be romance events continuing to happen even after you make a commitment? Pre-dating and post-dating, the scenarios are clearly divided. Before you start dating, you have the events to build your bonds with various characters. And the way of building those bonds is different from after you confess and actually start dating. And once you start dating, you'll have date events. So that's clearly demarcated within the scheme. I have no idea what that word is. And then also, of course, after you get married, there are events around having a child. But there's not a specific post-marriage scenario outside of just living together, having a child, and sort of the daily interactions. Speaking of having a child, considering how you can assign people to work in the town, can you put your child to work? Work the farm while I'm gone, where they grow up and come of age in Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Since you can have multiple people with you going into dungeons now, can your child become one of your allies? Can it be like a whole family trip? You can have up to 2 children in the game. All right. So confirmed, 2 children. The children can't be put to work in town. You can't assign them tasks, but you can bring them on adventures with you as party members. So to answer the interviewer's question, yes, it can be a family outing. As with other major NPCs in the game, you can raise your bond level with your children and through interactions and gifts. And also, bringing them with you will raise their bond level. As their bond level goes up, there will be certain skills that are unlocked that you can use in battle, and that's true. And that's true for all the NPCs you can bring with you. I noticed when you have your allies in battle, there can be party banter, and are there going to be romantic rivals for the player in Guardians of Azuma if there are characters who seem like they kind of get along, like an older Story of Seasons games, rival marriages? There is no rival marriage in Guardians of Azuma, which kind of sucks. I know a lot of people want rival marriage to be a thing again, but as you notice, there are many different variations on battle dialogue that can play depending on which characters are accompanying you into battle. If a character has a good relationship with another character within the game setting, then there may be very specific dialogue that will play between them in battle. So we think that really players of the game can enjoy experiencing just how many kinds of variations of these battle dialogues there are. Also, which characters are friends with other characters is something that's set within the game. It's not something that the player can necessarily influence. How did Rune Factory 5 feedback shape Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma? That's a really good question. As the development team, we took the feedback we received from the users on Rune Factory 5 very seriously and made our best effort to improve some elements in Guardians of Azuma. I wish they had talked about more, like, the performance issues that Rune Factory 5 had. And, like, don't get me wrong, I loved Rune Factory 5. Like, I have to because I'm a Rune Factory fan. Also kind of slowly but surely becoming a Rune Factory content creator. But it was a very sluggish game. Like, you play the past Rune Factory games, and yeah, they were on handheld titles as well, but they weren't full 3D experiences. I just, started playing Rune Factory 4 on my PC because I wanted to mod it. And, it's wild how really in a lot of ways Rune Factory 5 looks and plays like a whole different kind of game. Like, if you did not tell me it was Rune Factory, I might have thought it was something else, just because how little different it is from 1 through 5. But just how chuggy it was. Like, Tides of Destiny didn't suffer from the problems that Rune Factory 5 had. So, yeah, it's just by watching the gameplay and all that, they changed it up big time for this. And it makes me even more excited for what Rune Factory 6 is going to look like. So now here we are at the main event. So this is the story trailer. I'm just going to watch the whole thing and react to it, and then I'll go back if there's anything I really want to touch up on. But yeah, once again, sorry, this is 11 days old, but when you work a 9 to 5 or 5 days a week, it sometimes gets hard to pay attention and stay caught up. Let's see what we got here.
Sent forth a youth, their charge to seek the lost gods.
I think it's wild that the Wooly is the dragon.
Perform each god's dance at their season's Kagura shrine in the sky.
Okay, so that's one of the tasks we have, is to do that. Pray at each shrine. Which I'm sure will be an adventure even in itself.
Have you remembered anything?
Aside from my name, nothing at all.
Okay, partner. Sounds like a job for the new head honcho.
Healing all of Azuma will be a lengthy endeavor.
It's been so long since the 6 of us last came together.
So that's 6 shrines we'll have to do. I love all their designs. They're so good. That's what I'm worried about. Is the protagonist going to, like, die in the end?
Azuma will soon become
nah, like, if you can have kids and all that, I don't think that's going to happen.
Damn you, white dragon! And your abominable rider, too!
Why on earth is she opposing us? I need to confirm something there with my own eyes. If you know anything about this, please tell me.
It's such a colorful class.
Collapse.
So she caused it. That's a cool looking enemies.
Come, let your spirit soar!
Looks so much better.
Freeze!
I don't recognize you.
Why are you doing this?
Take up your weapon, Earthmate.
Gods and nature.
I love that she's going to start out as a villain, and yet you can marry her and her become your wife and all that. Looks like we fought her
At
a
the
couple of
center The
times.
celestial collapse. No one dares approach the site of such a terrible calamity.
I'd finally
is-
reunited with my dearest friend. I never thought I would. Kaguya! We're going to win and go back home to everyone.
Okay,
safe
so there's
and
one
sound.
thing about this
Once,
trailer I
twice,
do not
however
like.
many more times it
And-
takes. I won't give up. I have to stop her.
Okay. So there you have it, June 5th. I don't know if they're going to come out with another, like, there'll be a launch trailer, of course. I am kind of worried still because of the whole thing going on with the Earth Dancer edition, which is completely, at least on Amazon, is completely sold out. Like, you can't pre-order it anymore. They're completely sold out. But that's the whole issue with the fan. They're not convinced that they'll be able to get the fans into Japan because of tariffs in time. Personally, I wouldn't mind not getting the fan right away. Like, just send me the game. Like, I'm almost to the point where, like, oh, I want my Earthmate edition, but do I need to just buy the standard edition of the game and then so I can play it on release date? And then once I get my other version, then hey, I have it. I don't know. But there is one thing that I do not like about this trailer. And I guess I kind of get it from a marketing standpoint, but I don't like how they are painting Subaru as the sole main character of this game. Like, yeah, they show Kaguya and it says a second protagonist, but this whole trailer just paints Subaru as the sole lead. I don't like that. I feel like they could have definitely thrown some gameplay in here of using her. And yeah, I'm saying that as someone who prefers to play as female protagonists. It's like, hey, let's not forget that Kaguya is playable. You know, if you want to play a female protagonist, it'll be her in all these situations, and not Subaru. Like, if you play as her, I'm guessing it'll be Subaru on the Black Dragon. So yeah, I don't like that, but it's a marketing ploy. But yeah, they could have definitely thrown in some Kaguya gameplay instead of just showing her as like, oh, this is the protagonist that this particular player in the trailer didn't pick. So once again, Wooly is the white dragon. It's not just a cute little woolly, it is a full-on dragon. And it's showing more of riding the dragon to go to different sky islands. And we learned that we have to pray at all the shrines. And so I'm sure that's going to be like, before like the main in-game stuff kicks in, this will more than likely be the first task, is to pray at all of these shrines. And of course, there's going to be multiple ways. There's going to be ways to get there. We see some gameplay. It gets interesting about, once again, shows farming, putting the villages back together, embark on a journey to find the gods. So yes, we have to go to all these locations to find all these different gods and goddesses who are all romanceable. You know, half the marriage candidates are deities in this game, which is very, very interesting. But it looks like they are not deities who are like all seeing and like oh, what's the word? Like, they have physical bodies, like they can have children and stuff like that. It's not like they're just mystical beings who don't have a physical form, or you know what I mean. I'm sure, hopefully, right here it states how the main character's soul is the price, but this is a Rune Factory game. You know, after the main story is over with, you can always keep playing. So something I'm hoping is definitely going to prevent the protagonist from losing their soul. So here, once again, we got this corruption that is going around the land that we have to stop. Here is where it introduces Kaguya, a second protagonist, but like it paints her as an NPC in this trailer. So if you're just now starting to look at this game seriously, she is a protagonist. She is the female protagonist. This is who you will play as if you choose her. So in this instant, like right here, if you play as Kaguya, it'll be her right here where Subaru is, and it'll be her attacking him. We did learn that they are childhood friends and that they were actually at one point betrothed to each other. Now, I'm sure there was a reason for that breaking up, and of course, in true Rune Factory fashion, the protagonist has amnesia, so they're not going to remember that anyway. Now, we will more than likely fully get our memories back by the end of the game, because that's usually how it always goes in these games. I do want to know who the Black Dragon is, though, because we know who the White Dragon is. So the protagonist who we do not choose, is it just a Dark Wooly? We will have to see. Now, it's interesting right here, the Goddess of Light. Sadly, I have forgotten her name, but she states that she is the one that caused Azuma to be in the state that it is in. So that's very interesting. A Goddess of Light. You would think maybe Kai, I know his name because people keep on talking about him, the God of Darkness, technically, would be someone who would cause something like that. But no, it was her. And this is where she states that. I really like this. I'm guessing this is a boss. He looks like an Oni boss. I really like a lot of the monster designs in this game. We got some more combat, which once again, for a Rune Factory game, like it's not the most fluid gameplay that a game can have in 2025, but it still looks really, really good for a Rune Factory game. Like, definitely. Now, of course, I love how they point out these two characters in the trailer, because once again, these are the two marriage candidates that are locked by DLC, and they're obviously important to the story, or they wouldn't have been put in the story trailer. So that once again confirms that even if you don't have the DLC where you can marry them, they're in the game regardless. It's just that you have to buy the DLC if you want to marry them, which, once again, I will state, I do not agree with. So, with the defeat of the Sex Empire in Rune Factory 4, we now have the Taji San Brooch. What? I have no idea. I'll have to wait till the game comes out to learn how to pronounce that. And we see that one of the marriage candidates, she is one of them. So she will start as an antagonist. Here we see another antagonist and yet another one. We've got at least 3 main protagonists who represent this military-like force that is coming into Azuma. And we see several instances of fighting them, which will be interesting. I just wonder how she jumps sides. Because this is potentially an enemy from an invading force who falls in love with you, ends up marrying you, and having your children. So I'm interested to see how her story, besides, like, Ulaka is who I'm going to romance first. That'll be like my first playthrough. She's definitely my second favorite, even though I cannot remember her name right now. But she's my favorite because I like this enemies to lovers trope that they are definitely going with her. So right here, she's going to be a boss during the game. Then we have this like fortress. Now, I don't know if that is the invading force. Like this is what this is. Like this is their HQ or whatever in Azuma, or if this is something else. Like maybe it's an ancient evil that's creating like all the corruption in Azuma. And like this, like I just have a feeling this is definitely going to be a different kind of Rune Factory. Like it's definitely going to stand out from Rune Factory 5, definitely. Then once again, you know, here Kaguya is being used for a movement in the story. It looks like the protagonist you did not choose will be either taken away or rendered like to where they are no longer in the story. Like, because right here it looks like this might be could this be the same moment? Were they standing in a pool? No, they're not. So she falls to the ground, so it makes you wonder if they are taken prisoner, or they're just not going to be available in the story at that point. Because you also got to remember, the protagonist you do not choose can also be a marriage option. So eventually things are going to be okay again between you two, and you can decide to renew your betrothal and get married. So I don't know but here's the thing though. The other protagonist might not be available for marriage until after the main story. We don't know that for certain, but that could be a possibility. We see here that your woolly friend also gets hurt. And here we got all the gods and goddesses gathered. So I think that is a key to saving Azuma. Like you have to have them all gathered to lend them your strength. And then, of course, we get the release screen here, June 5th for Switch, Switch 2, and Steam. I was really hoping this game would come to PS5, but it is what it is. So far, Rune Factory 4 Special is the only Rune Factory game available on the PlayStation Store. And, you know, I just I just really wished it was. I think it'd be cool. Rune Factory's not been on a Sony console since before Rune Factory 4. It was Tides of Destiny. It was on the PlayStation 3. But there we go with the story trailer. Once again, kind of upset that they're kind of just using Subaru as the main hero of this game. I know it's for marketing reasons, but it's also kind of funny. In this art, it shows Kaguya with the white dragon and Subaru on the side with the black dragon. So it's like, come on, give her a trailer where she is the main star at least. Maybe that'll be the launch trailer. We'll have to see. But I have to say, like, despite the fact that the limited edition might be delayed and all that, and all the stuff that's going on with the Switch 2 version and the whole thing behind marriage candidates being locked behind DLC, I'm very excited for this game. It is going to be my main game of the summer. Like, I don't know if anything else is coming out during the summer that will take me away from this. This will probably be all I play for a while. I'm going to be putting up a poll soon on the channel asking if you guys want to see this as just a regular Let's Play series, or if you want me to stream it. So I might be doing that poll right after I get done recording this video. But that's all I've got for you guys today in this video. Once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching the DLC video that I did. It done way better than I thought it was going to. But I'm going to wrap it up there. As always, guys, this is Canaan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Please stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.